You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world of movie news, and we don't always have time to address all of them in our main topics, but I want to make sure you guys are caught up to date with what's going on, so this is a little segment we have to catch you up called the Movie News Feed. Check it out. First up, Idris Elba has become one of the most in-demand actors, playing the villain in Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw, wrapping Universal Pictures' adaptation of the Broadway play Cats, and signing a deal to star in Warner Bros.' The Suicide Squad. Now it's reported he will be joining the cast of Mouse Guard. From The Hollywood Reporter, Andy Serkis and Thomas Brody Sangster have already been cast in what is described as a sort of Game of Thrones with mice. The film is based on the graphic novel by David Peterson. The synopsis reads, Mouse Guard is set in a medieval world and tells of an order of mice who are sworn protectors of their realm. Enemies range from predators such as foxes, eagles, and other rodents. Elba will play an Obi-Wan Kenobi-like figure who was once a legendary champion and now thought long gone. Serkis will play the film's villain, and Brody Sangster will be playing the youngest member who will be called upon to prove his bravery. Upcoming Batman director Matt Reeves is producing the film, and a May production start date has been slated. Next up, it's been 15 years since the Mystery Inc. gang have appeared on the big screen with 2004's Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed. That's about to change as Deadline reports that Zac Efron and Amanda Seyfried are joining Warner Bros. Animation Group's Scooby-Doo feature film, Scoob. Tony Cervone is directing the film, and Chris Columbus, Pam Coates, and Allison Abate are producing. Efron will be voicing Fred, Seyfried will be voicing Daphne. Other cast members have already been announced. Will Forte will play Shaggy, Gina Rodriguez is Velma, Tracy Morgan is Captain Caveman, and Frank Welker will prize his role as Scoob. You may recognize his voice from the original 1969 to 1970 series Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Scoob is set to hit theaters in May of 2020. Next up, you may have heard that Ben Affleck has been busy producing and acting in a currently untitled addiction drama for Warner Bros. The film, directed by Gavin O'Connor, was previously titled The Has-Been, and at one time, Torrance. Now, Variety reports we have a release date of October 18th, placing it right in the middle of awards season. Affleck plays a former basketball player struggling with addiction, which has led to the breakup of his marriage. As a part of his recovery, he becomes the coach of a high school basketball team at his alma mater. O'Connor is producing the film with Affleck. The last time they collaborated was on 2016's The Accountant. Next up, what's that? You haven't had enough bad video game adaptations? Great, because Saban Films has released a new trailer for their zombie action film, Dead Trigger, based on the 2012 mobile game of the same name. From firstshowing.net, the film, which stars Dolph Lundgren, wrapped in 2017, but is only now getting a release. The synopsis reads like this. When an unstoppable zombie apocalypse takes over the world, the government develops a video game called Dead Trigger that mirrors the terrifying events plaguing the planet. The best efforts of the gamers are monitored, and they recruit the highest-rated zombie killers. The young recruits are called Dead Triggers. The film follows a group of recruits who travel to the origin of the breakout to find a missing team of scientists who are searching for a cure. So, The Last Starfighter meets The Walking Dead? The film drops in select theaters and on video on demand on May 3rd. And finally, sad news today, as it is being reported that Larry Cohen, director of The Stuff and It's Alive, has passed away at the age of 77. From Dread Central, the news came from actor Shade Roop, who received an email from Cohen's best friend explaining the situation. Larry Cohen's work was celebrated in the documentary King Cohen, The Wild World of Filmmaker Larry Cohen, and featured interviews from filmmakers such as J.J. Abrams, Rick Baker, John Landis, Martin Scorsese, and many more. His career began in the 1950s and continued through to 2010. No cause of death has currently been released. And that'll do it for today's installment of the Movie News Feed.